And again, this is 3.4, so this will not be on the quiz. Oh no, did she walk out with my pen? Oh, that worked. All right, scientists collected the data on the speed in centimeters at which ants ran at the given ambient temperature in degrees Celsius. Okay, so all our tables up to this point have been horizontal. This is a vertical, but we should still be able to handle that. So we know the first one is always our variable. So in our calculator, that is the x. The second one is our function. So in the calculator, that is y. And we know the variable will go as list 1. The function as list 2. All right, so once we establish that, it's very easy to determine then the function is speed. So I'm going to call that S. And it said that the speed is centimeters per something. See if it tells. And then we know the variable, the temperature, degrees Celsius. Okay, all right. Now, this says find the equation of the regression line. So in this one, I'm going to assume it's not exactly linear. All right, so this is where we can go to our calculator. So okay, so to get to your list, it's stat 1. And then put in these values for your variable. And then right arrow over and put in your function values. And be sure that you have the exact same number of values in each one. Ready? Having trouble getting those in there. They're all good. All right, so now to find our linear regression line, where do we go? Where? That's to graph it. I'm not necessarily wanting to graph it. So if I want just the linear regression line.
Oh,
Stat, right arrow over to calc, enter. Why does it give me? Oops, I hit the wrong one. Let me go back to the calc. I hit 1. What do I need to hit? 4. Now, when you're doing this in WebAssign, be careful. I was just helping one of my students and she did it correctly, but in WebAssign, she rounded them each to 3 decimal places. So it counted it wrong because it said rounded 2 decimal places. So be careful, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna round to 3 decimal places. So A is 0.209 and B is negative 2.729.
But I thought it ended at 4.
Oh, does it say 4? Oh, it sure does. I just told you to pay attention and I didn't pay attention. So that would be 8.7. Thank you for catching that. And 9.5. Now are we good? Okay. All right, now in our calculator, what is A? That's your slope. And then B we know is the initial value. So we know we are using y equals mx plus b. Y is your function, and we called that s. The calculator gave us the slope of 0.2087, and instead of x, we're going to use t. And the initial value is negative, so I'm going to do minus 2.7295. All right, explain in practical terms. So the slope is 0.2087. The S in instead of C in centimeters over what? 1 degree Celsius. All right. So the function is the speed of what?
Speed of ants running.
Yeah. So the speed of ants is 0.2087 centimeters per 1 degree Celsius. All right, express using functional notation, the speed at which the ants run when the ambient temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. What was given function or variable value? Given variable value. My variable is t, so t equals 27. Okay, it wants functional notation. How would you write that? S at 27. So it asked for this. And then it wants us to estimate that value, round your answer to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to use the formula that we found in part A. And in place of t, I'm going to put 27. And round that to 2 decimal places. That's good.
3.91.
And what are,
No, sorry, just 2.91.
okay, and what are we talking about? I heard mumbles, but I didn't hear it. Centimeters. All right, the scientist observes the ants running at a speed of 2.42 centimeters per second. What is the ambient temperature? Okay, so now we're given what? We're given the function value. Our function is s, so we're given s equals 2.42. So that means that goes in place of the function 2.42 equals 0.2087 T minus 2.7295. So now I have to solve for T. What are you gonna do first?
Add two.
So you're gonna move this to the other side by adding it. $5.1495. Can we undo that multiplication? How? And then it says your final answer to 2 decimal places. So T equals
24.67. Degrees.
degrees Celsius. Okay. On that. So today is Monday. Now, just for purposes of my Zoom, I'm gonna put something up here. You guys don't need to pay attention to this. Just purposes of if anybody wants. All right, so get your pencil, your calculator, and your notes in order. It's only over, your quiz is over 3-1-3-2-3-3. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and assign 3.4 to be due Wednesday. Okay, and then on Wednesday, we'll do that extra practice. We should be able to go through that pretty quick. And then we'll start the last section.